The best films hide their wildest secrets in plain sight. Fans have spent years uncovering clues the studios never confirmed but never denied either. So, let's get to it. Totoro is the god of death. My Neighbor. Totoro is Hayao Miyazaki's masterpiece about childhood wonder. Except Japanese audiences noticed something disturbing. Totoro might be a Shinigami, a death god from Japanese folklore. The evidence is damning. In Japanese legend, only those near death can see the god of death. Satsuki and Mei's mother is hospitalized with a terminal illness. The girls are under extreme stress. They see soot sprites at the beginning, which in Japanese mythology signal impending death. Then, halfway through, Mei disappears. A sandal matching hers is found floating in a pond. The implication is clear. Mei drowned. And here's where it gets disturbing. From this point forward, the sisters cast no shadows in several scenes. They visit their mother at the hospital, but their mother never actually sees them. She feels their presence, senses they were there, but never makes eye contact. The final scene shows the sisters sitting in a tree, watching their parents from a distance. They're not part of the world anymore. Totoro isn't a friendly forest spirit. He's a guide who helps souls transition to the afterlife. He made the journey gentle for two young girls who died before their time. Studio Ghibli has never officially confirmed or denied this theory, which makes it even more haunting. Speaking of hidden darkness in childhood films, what if I told you every Pixar movie is connected? The Pixar theory. This theory is legendary on the internet. It claims every Pixar movie exists in the same timeline, spanning thousands of years. And get this, the evidence is everywhere once you know what to look for. It starts with Brave, set in medieval Scotland, where magic clearly exists. That magic comes from a witch who disappears through doors, exactly like the doors in Monsters, Inc. Fast forward to the Industrial Age. The Incredibles shows humans developing superpowers. Syndrome creates advanced AI technology that becomes sentient. In Toy Story, objects are alive because residual energy from Syndrome's technology gives them consciousness. Animals also gain intelligence, leading to Ratatouille and Finding Nemo. By Wall-E, Earth is abandoned. Humans live on spaceships while robots inherit the planet. But here's where it gets wild. The plant life becomes intelligent. Fast forward thousands of years, and you get A Bug's Life, where insects have built complex societies. Eventually, animals evolve even further, leading to cars, where sentient vehicles have replaced biological life. Monsters, Inc. takes place in the distant future. The monsters are evolved animals who've learned to harness human emotion as energy. They travel back in time through doors to collect screams from human children. And the loop closes like this. Boo becomes obsessed with finding Sully. She spends her life mastering time travel and becomes the witch from Brave, completing the loop. Pixar hasn't confirmed every detail, but they've acknowledged the connections exist. But childhood movies aren't the only ones hiding secrets. Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction's glowing briefcase is cinema's most famous MacGuffin. The theory explaining its contents is brilliant. The briefcase contains Marcellus Wallace's soul, sold to the devil, and now being reclaimed. Look at the evidence. Marcellus has a band-aid on the back of his neck throughout the film. In various theological traditions, that's where the devil extracts a soul. The briefcase combination is 666. When Brett opens it, an orange glow illuminates his face, and moments later, an orange flash accompanies his death. The theory positions Marcellus as a man who sold his soul for power and is trying to buy it back. He sends Jules and Vincent to retrieve the case. When they open it, they see something that leaves them awestruck. Here's what this means. Jules's spiritual awakening after surviving the bullets isn't random. He's been in the presence of a human soul, tangible proof of the divine. His decision to leave crime is enlightenment. Pulp Fiction made $213 million worldwide and changed independent cinema forever. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you're enjoying this content so far, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch these videos without subscribing. Imagine what we could accomplish if everyone subscribed. We all thank you for your continued support. Speaking of hidden meanings, Christopher Nolan might have been fooling us this whole time. Inception. Inception tells us Cobb's totem is the spinning top. The film ends with it spinning, leaving audiences debating whether Cobb is still dreaming. But what if we've been looking at the wrong object? The premise of totems is that they're personal objects that only the owner understands. Cobb's totem can't be the top because it was originally Mal's. She understood its weight, its balance. In the dream world, she could manipulate it. So what's his real totem? His wedding ring. In every dream sequence, Cobb wears his ring. In every scene in reality, the ring is absent. In dreams, where he hasn't processed her death, he's still married. In reality, the ring is gone. Watch the final scene again. Cobb spins the top, but he walks away before it falls. The camera focuses on the top wobbling. But look at his hand. No ring. He's awake. He's home. The spinning top is a red herring. The real answer was on Cobb's finger the entire time. Now, if you think that's a mind-bending crossover, wait until you hear about this alien. E.T. is a Sith Lord. E.T., the extraterrestrial, is Steven Spielberg's heartwarming story about a lost alien. Except, what if E.T. isn't lost? What if he's dangerous? E.T. displays multiple abilities identical to Force users in Star Wars. He heals wounds with his touch. He moves objects with his mind. He creates a telepathic bond with Elliot that lets him control the boy's actions. And get this, members of E.T.'s species actually appear in The Phantom Menace, sitting in the Galactic Senate. When E.T. sees a kid dressed as Yoda on Halloween, he recognizes him and says, "Home." He knows Yoda. They're from the same universe. But E.T.'s powers align more with the Sith than the Jedi. He controls Elliot's mind without consent. He has power over life and death. He manipulates everyone to get what he wants. The theory suggests E.T. was exiled from the Star Wars galaxy for practicing the dark side. He crash-landed on Earth, used a child to facilitate his escape, and returned to continue his Sith training. E.T. isn't the only filmmaker playing with connected universes. Let's talk about Tarantino. The Tarantino universe. Quentin Tarantino's films don't just share references, they share bloodlines. Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction and Vic Vega from Reservoir Dogs are brothers. Every character smokes the same fictional brand of cigarettes, Red Apple. Tarantino himself confirmed his films exist in two separate universes. The first is the realer-than-real universe, where grounded stories like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction take place. The second is the movie universe, films that characters in the first universe would watch. Here's where it gets brilliant. In Inglourious Basterds, Hitler dies in a burning theater in 1944, completely changing history. This creates an alternate timeline where World War II ended differently. That's why Kill Bill and From Dusk Till Dawn are so heightened. They're movies within movies, created in a universe where history diverged. Tarantino is building a multiverse where cinema itself rewrites the sins of the past. And speaking of rewriting history, here's a theory that will destroy your childhood. Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 is Pixar's most emotionally devastating film, and some viewers notice disturbing parallels to the Holocaust. The toys are abandoned, left behind by someone they loved. They hold a meeting with staging nearly identical to scenes from The Pianist. Buzz suggests hiding in the attic, a direct reference to Anne Frank. The toys are transported in a closed box, unable to see outside, mirroring cattle cars used in deportations. They arrive at Sunnyside Daycare, which reveals itself as a prison. The daycare operates as a concentration camp, with Lotso as the commandant, and new arrivals stripped of autonomy. The caterpillar room represents forced labor. Toys are broken, discarded, and replaced without mercy. Escape attempts are punished. The security systems, the surveillance, the totalitarian control mirror camp infrastructure. Then comes the climax. The toys are sent toward an incinerator on a conveyor belt. They hold hands, accepting death together, in a scene emotionally identical to countless Holocaust testimonies. The moment transcends children's entertainment. The toys are saved by the claw, functioning as divine intervention. And once you see it, Toy Story 3 stops being just a kid's movie and becomes something that carries historical weight. If that wasn't dark enough, let's talk about another childhood icon who might be collecting dead children. Peter Pan. Peter Pan is Disney's classic about a magical boy who never grows up. Except Neverland isn't a fantasy island. It's the afterlife. And Peter Pan isn't a hero. He's a guide who helps dead children to the other side. The Lost Boys are children who fell out of their prams and were never claimed. They don't have families because they died young. They never grow up because they can't. Death froze them at whatever age they died. Captain Hook isn't a villain. He's an adult who somehow ended up in a realm meant for children, desperately trying to escape. When Peter takes Wendy, John, and Michael to Neverland, he's collecting them because they're dying. Peter visits children in the real world, appearing to those who are sick, who are dying. He makes death seem like an adventure, transforming terror into wonder. He's the gentle face death wears when it comes for children, and Neverland is the beautiful lie that makes dying easier. Next, let's examine everyone's favorite chocolatier, Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is beloved worldwide. But watch it again, and you'll notice something disturbing. Wonka isn't eccentric. He's a methodical killer running a factory designed to murder children. The Oompa Loompas sing elaborate, choreographed songs about each child's demise. These performances require weeks of rehearsal. How did they prepare songs before the children arrived, unless they knew exactly what would happen? Every vehicle in the factory has exactly the right number of seats for whoever's left after each child disappears. The boat initially has enough seats for everyone. After Augustus is gone, every subsequent vehicle has one fewer seat. Wonka knew the group would shrink. He planned the exact order of elimination. And here's the darkest detail. We never see the children leave. We're told they're fine, but we never see them reunited with their parents. The theory suggests Wonka's chocolate tastes better because he's using an ingredient his competitors don't have access to. Charlie survives because Wonka needs an heir. Wonka isn't the only musical hiding something tragic. Let's look at Grease. Grease is Sandy's dying fantasy. Summer Nights establishes that Sandy nearly drowned and Danny saved her. Except, what if he didn't? What if Sandy died and the entire movie is her brain's final fantasy as she drowns? The film begins with summer ending. Then, impossibly, Sandy shows up at Danny's high school, in a different state, with no established reason for relocating. It's too convenient, like a dying wish manifesting as reality. Everything that follows is wish fulfillment. Sandy gets the boy back. She transforms into the confident woman she wanted to be. Every conflict resolves perfectly. And then Danny and Sandy drive a car that literally flies into the sky. That moment is Sandy's soul ascending. The flying car represents her final release from the physical world. Grease isn't a musical about teenage romance. It's about a girl who drowned at 17, who spent her last moments imagining a world where everything worked out. From dying dreams to frozen wastelands, here's a theory with concrete evidence. The Thing. The Thing ends with MacReady and Child sitting in the snow, sharing a bottle as they freeze to death. Fans have debated for decades who's human and who's the monster. The answer is in the bottle. Throughout the film, MacReady drinks J and B scotch from distinctive bottles. In the final scene, he offers Childs a drink from a different bottle. Childs drinks it without hesitation and without reaction. The bottle contains gasoline. MacReady is running a test. A human would immediately taste gasoline and spit it out. The Thing wouldn't realize the deception. Childs drinks, and MacReady laughs. Not a laugh of relief, but a defeated, knowing laugh. He understands Childs is the Thing. He knows humanity lost, and there's nothing he can do except wait for death. Additional evidence supports this. Childs has no visible breath in the freezing air, while MacReady does. The beauty of The Thing's ending is the horror of MacReady figuring out the truth and realizing he's powerless. The Thing won, much like how you might not realize this next character doesn't exist. Ferris Bueller. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is about the coolest teenager in Chicago skipping school. Except Ferris might not be real. He might be Cameron's imaginary alter ego, a Fight Club-style projection. Look at the evidence. Cameron is anxious, repressed, and controlled by his abusive father. Ferris is confident, charming, and universally loved. Cameron is sick in bed at the start. His symptoms mysteriously vanish the moment he decides to leave. The parade sequence, where Ferris performs in front of thousands, is so over the top it feels like a fantasy. Ferris breaks the fourth wall constantly, talking directly to the camera like a voice in Cameron's head. The entire day is Cameron's internal journey. The Ferrari represents his father's control. When Cameron destroys the car, he's symbolically breaking free. Ferris is Cameron's idealized self, the confident voice that finally convinces him to take control of his life. Ferris Bueller might be imaginary, but this next character's dark intentions were all too real. Doc Brown. Back to the Future presents Doc Brown as a lovable eccentric. But watch the opening act closely. Doc might have been planning to kill himself and Marty. Before testing the time machine, Doc reflects on his life. He talks about his failures, his wasted potential, his decades of ridicule. He's being hunted by Libyan terrorists. He has no family, no real friends except a teenage boy, and his entire self-worth depends on whether this one invention works. Doc positions himself and Marty directly in the DeLorean's path as it accelerates to 88 miles per hour. There's no safety barrier. If something goes wrong, they both die instantly. And Doc knows this. The test is a win-win for a suicidal man. If the time machine works, his life has meaning. If it fails, he dies and takes his failures with him. Doc never expected to survive the Libyans shooting him. That was supposed to be his end. But Marty's actions in 1955 changed the timeline, giving Doc a bulletproof vest and a second chance. Back to the Future isn't just about fixing the past. It's about Marty unknowingly preventing his friend's suicide. The film made $381 million worldwide. Doc was saved by time travel, but this next character weaponized fashion design. The Incredibles' Edna Mode has one absolute rule: no capes. She explains in detail how capes killed multiple superheroes. They get caught in jet engines, snagged on missiles, pulled into machinery. Yet Syndrome wears a costume with a flowing cape. Why? Because Edna designed it, and she wanted him dead. Syndrome came to Edna for help. He needed her expertise to create a costume worthy of his manufactured superiority. And Edna agreed, with one modification. She gave him a cape, not as decoration, but as a weapon. A flaw was built into the design. When Syndrome's cape got sucked into a jet turbine at the film's climax, it was a premeditated murder disguised as costume design. Edna recognized Syndrome as a threat. She couldn't stop him through force, but she could engineer his downfall through design. Edna Mode isn't just a designer. She's an assassin who works in the thread. And finally, let's talk about a spy who might never have escaped at all. James Bond's Spectre features one of the most ridiculous escape sequences in Bond history. After Blofeld tortures Bond with a drill through his skull, Bond escapes effortlessly, defeats an entire organization, and gets the girl. It's so absurd it begs the question, did any of it actually happen? The theory suggests Bond never escapes. The drill destroys his brain, and everything after that moment is a dying fantasy. The escape is too perfect. Too convenient. Madeline arrives at exactly the right moment. Every bullet finds its target. It's wish fulfillment, not reality. If true, this reframes every Daniel Craig Bond film after Spectre as taking place in the afterlife. Bond isn't aging gracefully into retirement. He's trapped in a dying dream, repeating his purpose forever because he can't imagine existing outside of espionage. That's 16 theories that'll rewire how you see cinema. Some are fun speculations, and a few might actually be true. If you enjoyed watching, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and drop us a note in the comments, letting us know what you want to see us do next.